Hello, everyone, and welcome to the SCOOPS AFLW trade final day wrap. The final day of the AFLW trade period is done and dusted, and boy, oh boy, it wasn't without some controversy, some trades that didn't happen, some moves that we thought, what the hell is going on? Now, while I recorded this video for yesterday, a trade went through literally a minute after I posted the video, and then the bombshell trade request or move that shocked us all and is still confusing everyone was Eilish Sheerin from the Tigers has requested to trade to North Melbourne and now has obviously joined North Melbourne for pick 18. I'm going to go through that because that was very, very controversial in terms of like why Richmond would let a star midfielder like Eilish Sheerin go, a two-time All-Australian. I'm going to go through that very shortly. And the other trade, which was Bella Smith, went from Sydney to Fremantle for a late selection. In fact, that would be pick 49 on a 2-year deal. I'm going to go through those two moves and every trade that went through today right here on this video. So please subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Want to aim for 20 likes for this video. Please share the video around. More importantly, follow, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share the videos around. I would greatly appreciate it. Alrighty, so we'll go back in order. So Bella Smith went to Fremantle for pick 49 on a 2-year deal. You know, kicked 5 goals in the last game of the season against the Eagles, did Bella Smith, and shown she can play at the level. Which, you know, you got Charlie Thomas and Beth Schilling in that Eagles backline, so clearly she can play. I just feel like for her, a move is probably best. You know, wasn't always guaranteed to be in the team, and didn't always take the opportunities. With Freo now, with Hetherington going out, which we're going to get to later on, it has an opening there for Freo for Bella Smith. So it works out well in the end. Because had I mentioned this last night, if I didn't record it earlier, I would have said that she's going to be in a position where she's battling with Ariana Hetherington, but now she's gone to North. And North Melbourne, boy, oh boy, where they've sold this trade period, and they just want a bloody premiership, and they're probably going to go back to back. I'll tell you why soon. Yeah, Bella Smith at Freo, I think it's a good move for her now with Hetherington gone. Even more of a better move. And, you know, Freo said they were tracking Bella for a while. They all say that. For 49, essentially for free. So if it works, it works. It doesn't, it doesn't. And on a 2-year deal, Bella will have the opportunity to shine for the next 2 years at the Dockers. So Freo, for me, win that trade. Not by a drastic amount, but they win the trade. Now, that big request of Eilish Sheerin, I just want to stress enough that Richmond had a great season. They made finals, lost to Port Adelaide. But overall, what they've done in this trade period now, they've stuffed themselves up. Because not only did one of their targets, Paige Scott, not go through to Richmond, one of their best small forwards, in fact, their best small forward in Amelia Yasia, they've happily let her go to Essendon, and that trade didn't happen. So essentially, they're, according to some reports, they're potentially going to be delisting her and letting her go through the draft. And I'm thinking, why? She's one of your best players. Why do you want her out? It makes no sense at all. And while Eilish Sheerin went for pick 18, and that in its right is downright criminal because Eilish Sheerin is way better than pick 18. She's been in the AFLW for 3 years. Yes, she's 31 years of age, but that doesn't matter. She's a 2-time All-Australian as a halfback. Played in the midfield this year alongside the stars of Mon Conti, Ali McKenzie, and Ali Dalloway, and just fitted in so well and was continuously strong each and every game. Even when Richmond were losing, Eilish Sheerin was one of a few that stood up. And this move just makes no sense from a Richmond point of view. You know, Eilish Sheerin played every week, played every game since she debuted for Richmond. And I feel like Richmond are the ones that orchestrated this, but what for? You're going to put a lot of pressure now on those other 3 midfielders I just named, Conti, McKenzie, and Dalloway, because I'm sure those 3 will succeed, and they always do. But, like, Eilish Sheerin brought, you know, an extra good midfielder into the team, and to trade her out to North Melbourne and for pick 18, it just makes no sense. I feel like, well, this was the bombshell, And this was literally out of nowhere. This was not talked about. This came very, very late, literally yesterday. I'm not even making this up. And not because it was publicly announced. I know that for a fact. It was only yesterday. So it's like, just why? Why, Richmond? What are you doing? You have a great team. Your best small forward you're letting go. Who will nominate for the draft now or go through the draft? It just doesn't make any sense. And Paige Scott's, who you were targeting for Yasir from Richmond, from Essendon to Richmond, is now going to sign a new contract at Essendon, apparently. So you didn't win out there, and now you're going to let your best player go, or your best small forward go, and she's probably not going to want to come back anyway now off the top of that. So you've not only lost one of your best players in Eilish Sheerin, you've now lost your best small forward in Amelia Yasir, and you got pick 18. When Eilish Sheerin on her own is better than pick 18. Yasir is probably worth a pick in the early 20s as well. So you've lost two good players for pick 18, essentially. That is bad list management. That will absolutely hurt their forward line and midfield. So the draft now on Monday night is going to be very crucial for them to see who they bring in at pick 18. So 10 and 18 is their first two picks, the Tigers. So they're going to have to want to be nailing those two picks and hope those two play round one next season, because I don't know what they've done. I really don't know. And I know a lot of the Richmond fans are not happy about both Sheerin and Yasir leaving off the back of Richmond wanting them to leave. It makes 0 sense. 0 sense. So the Roos clearly won that trade. I mean, Eilish Sheerin is going to be a star midfielder or half-back. I mean, she can go play in that midfield with Garner, Riddell, Tripodi, King, and Bruton. She could even play on the wings with Amy Smith as well and Taylor Gatt. Then if she goes place halfback, she can go line up with Emma Carney, Libby Birch, Jazz Ferguson and co. Like, Eilish Sheerin can fit in either a role that I've just mentioned, and she'll succeed in that role. And it's going to make that team even more dangerous than they already were this season. And North are one of the teams that have won the trade period. Now, I'm going to do a full club-by-club recap tomorrow or the day after. So I'm basically giving you an idea what I'm going to say for North Melbourne. But, like, they've nailed it. They won a premiership, and they've got a star A-grade midfielder and defender, a star Eilish Sheerin, and Ariana Hetherington, which we'll get to shortly. So, actually, you might as well talk about Ariana Hetherington while we're at it on the topic of North Melbourne. So, they brought in Ariana Hetherington literally around the deadline time for pick 51. So this is out of nowhere still for North Melbourne. A key forward that can have a backup ruck option. They've already got Kim Rennie and Emma King, but they're both older in age. Kate Shearlaw is a key forward, probably won't play on after next season. So it's like the future backup is there in Hetherington. And she's a viable option if he has to play. Like, Sheila probably won't play every game next year, I reckon. And Hetherington can fill in those gaps and potentially play every week if there's injuries and everything like that. Who knows? She may be in the starting team. We don't know what's going to happen, obviously, when round one comes around in terms of who's available and everything like that. But, you know, Sheila, Randall, Hetherington is 3 tools with O'Loughlin and co in that 4 line. Could look very, very dangerous. In fact, they are already very dangerous, that North team, let alone just the 4 line. The whole team are dangerous. But Hetherington is another support option in that 4 line, is very good and should be a good pickup. Ariana Hetherington for free at pick 51. Unbelievable. The Freo, I don't know why Freo have done that. I know Bella Smith's come in, but I still wouldn't have done that from Freo point of view. Really silly if you ask me from Freo. So there you go. So North Melbourne win that trade again. Now, Nicole Barr from the Giants has joined the Saints. Grace Kelly from the Saints has joined the Crows in a 3-way trade with St Kilda, Adelaide and GWS. St Kilda received Barr and 57 for Grace Kelly. Adelaide received Grace Kelly to team up with her sister Neve Kelly at Adelaide for pick 52. GWS get pick 52 for Bar and 57. Who wins this trade? Depends who you rate high out of Bar and Kelly. I think they're about even. Kelly is a good winger and can play off the halfback and had a good season. Bar is a midfielder. She's 28 years of age. She's experienced, played over 60 games as a leader as well. So really line ball for me. But St Kilda get 57 on top of Bar for Kelly. I know pick 57 is pick 57, but LA got Kelly for 52. So, I mean, that's a steal in its own right. Grace Kelly for 52. When you see some player swaps or pick swaps that players have gone for, Grace Kelly's better than some of them, and she's better than pick 52. So I would say the Crows have won this trade slightly ahead of the Saints, and then the Giants are a distance third, 52 for Bar and 57. So not only they only made a slight 5-pick increase, they've lost one of their experienced midfielders when they need experience, the Giants. So they absolutely did not win this deal, the Giants. The Saints and the Crows did. Bar joins the Saints on a 3-year deal at 28 years of age, not 20, 28 years of age. So, yeah, Saints and Crows win that really line ball call. The Giants are a distant third. The next trade we're going to go through is none other than the trade that involved Ella Heads and Ash Van Loon. Port Adelaide, or for starters, Port Adelaide, Sydney, Brisbane and Essendon were involved. Sydney lost Ella Heads and Essendon lost Ash Van Loon. And there's a lot of picks which I'm going to go through right now and who won those trades. Port Adelaide received Ella Heads, picks 17, 40, 47 and 53. Port Adelaide give up 15, 39 and 51. Right there off the top of the top. They gave up 15 to go back to 17, got Ella Heads. So this is what St Kilda should have done with Amber Clarke, which we'll get to later. But the Amber Clarke trade, that is. So 17, 40, 47, 53 is what they got with Ella Heads. 15, 39 and 51 out. So 15 and 17 cancels each other out. So they've essentially got Ella Heads and 40 for 39 and 51. It's just like, what? Port Adelaide absolutely nailed this trade. They won this easily, hands down. The Swans got Ash Van Loon, a key defender from Essendon, and 51, gave up Ella Heads and 40. They lost that easily. Brisbane got pick 15 and 39 for 17, 35 and 53. For a 2-pick upgrade, was a 4-pick downgrade and losing 53. It's not a big deal. So they done okay. They didn't really move anywhere, so I don't know why they even bothered. There is no live trading for AFLW, so that could be a reason why. Essendon get pick 35 for Ash Van Loon and 47. I mean, they did okay out of it. Pick 35 for a defender who had a reasonable year, but, you know, isn't a number 1 or 2 defender. Not too bad, I guess. So, yeah, overall, Sydney didn't win. Brisbane didn't really do anything different, and Essendon maybe a slight increase if that. And Port Adelaide absolutely nailed this trade. The Port Adelaide AFLW list management have stolen the trade period as well in this individual trade as well. They love doing good work at the Power AFLW trade and draft period, as they did last year when they stole the draft and trade period last year. Loz Young, Sinead Goody, Piper Window, Molly Brooksby, Alyssa Brooke and Kirsty Lamb. They nailed it then. They've nailed it again so far. Wait for their trade period is now done, obviously. Wait for their draft period on Monday night, December 16th, how they go at the AFLW draft, the Power. Right, the next trade. Oh, by the way, sorry, Ella Heads. I can't stress enough how good Ella Heads is as a footballer. And she's going to be very, very good for the Power to go in that back line and be one of the main pillars at 21 years of age. She's going to put so much or no pressure. It's going to put more, what's the right word here? More relaxed that backline will be, knowing that Ella Heads is there, but don't want to give her all the pressure. But Ella Heads with Molly Brooksby and co in that backline makes that backline look a lot better. And the whole team as a whole, Loz Young hopefully come back from a knee injury. She was on crutches, I noticed too, at the Port B&F, so she's had a bit of a setback in her knee, but hopefully she'll be back, before the season starts, well before the season starts, Loz Young. telling you right now, Loz Young will be the steal of the whole draft the last 3 years. Be the best player of the last 3 drafts, including this one. So, Loz Young, I said it last year, I'm going to say it again, will be the best player. If she can stay injury-free, she is that good. But yeah, LA Head's great pickup for the Power. And for Essendon losing Van Loon, not a massive deal. And for Sydney gaining her, they lost some players, including LA Head. So it's trying to get a replacement. So a handy replacement, but not better than LA Head's. The Swans again, today alone. Lulu Puller is officially a Swans player. North Melbourne received picks 49 and 51. Why they gave 2, I don't know. But whatever, in that range. But the Roos have multiple late picks, and they can do what they need to do. And 51 went to Hetherington in the end anyway, so there you go. So you essentially got the Roos, Hetherington for Puller, and 49 if you think of it like that. Hetherington 49 for Lulu Puller. So smart from the Roos yet again. Lulu for the Swans, though, half back and play on the wing as well. I don't mind this for the Swans. They lost a few players in those positions. They brought in Darcy Maloney and Jazz Grierson as well. So they're looking to add to those halfback wing areas, and Lulu can absolutely provide that run off the halfback line and even on the wing as well, as she's shown at North in the games she played, mainly in 2023, but in the games she played in 2024. Collingwood have signed Docker Airlie Runnels, on a 2-year deal, and Freo get pick 45. A bit of, an interesting move for the Pies. They need more players. They brought in Mattia Bridges, which is the steal of the trade period, until Eilish Sheerin trade happened and got brought up. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see how Airlie Runnels goes at the Pies. I'm a bit interested to see how she'll go at the Pies from the Dockers. Playing some games at the Dockers, but I want to see what position they play her in first before I make a judgment. But technically, at this point, I would choose to play her over pick 45. Now, Tayla Harris trade did not happen to Hawthorn, to no surprise. But now she has the option to accept an offer from Melbourne, which they've offered, or delist herself and nominate for the draft Monday night. You'll hear about that, I'm sure. Knowing my luck, this will be posted as soon as I end this video. Amelia Yasir Scott trade is also offered on just detailed before. Yasir is unlikely to go back to Richmond and appears for the draft on Monday night. And Scott will return to Essendon, according to reports. Mentioned Hetherington. There was late pick swaps where Freo got 34 and 38, Richmond got 31 and 45. And then between Carlton and Richmond got 56 and 59, Carlton get 45. Bit of a interesting pick swaps for nothing major. The big trade and the last trade, the Saints have secured the service of Essendon speedster Amber Clarke. Essendon got pick 8. Now, I had a little bit of a think about this, and I'm thinking Amber Clarke is a great player. She's only 19, and she's very, very quick, and it's the exact type of player St Kilda need, and she was contracted, so they had to give up a bit more than they would want to. But Amber Clarke was pick 3 only a few seasons ago. So pick 3 a few seasons ago. She played 29 games, 14 goals, very crafty around goals, sets up some goals, and is quick. And that's the type of player St Kilda need. So on reflection of that, the last half an hour to an hour of that trade going through, I understand why St Kilda gave up pick 8. I feel like giving up pick 8 was too much in general. What I would have done, Essendon had pick 11. I would have gone, all right, you can have pick 8 and like 32, 8 and 32. We'll get Amber Clarke in 11. And values her at around 20. But clearly Essendon weren't going to do that. So maybe they could have done something like get Amber Clarke for pick 8, and that's all they get. And we get their pick in the 20s. So we get Clarke and a pick in the 20s. I think their pick was 26 off the top of my head. So like Clarke and 26 for pick 8. And I would have been a bit more accepting of that. So we paid a lot here, but Amber Clarke is a good player. Is a small forward. So generally those picks are only used on midfielders and, your 200 centimetre forwards and everything like that. But, hey, Amber Clarke will be a good player for the Saints, so I'm really happy. I would prefer to not be pick 8, but, here we are. But Amber Clarke will be a great addition to the Saints. So they brought in Barr, Baskaran, and now Amber Clarke. Amber Clarke's only 19, Charlotte Baskaran's only 21, and Barr is 28. So I needed St Kilda to be active. I said they needed to do something this trade period, and they did. They should have done a little bit more. but I'll get to that on the trade wrap video in the coming days. So yeah, that's all the action that happened today and what did not happen. I think Georgia Gall had some interest from Richmond and Hawthorn. Let's just see if she gets a contract offer from Melbourne in the next day or so, and then see if she ends up nominating for the draft or if she stays in Melbourne. I'll have to wait and see there. But thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'll have a full club-by-club recap in the coming days. Thank you all, and go Saints!